So I wanted to share this with you all, and I'm probably going to catch some heat for it, but I decided to go ahead and be open about it. So there's a couple that I helped a couple of months back in regards to the relationship, right? And I knew that it wasn't going to work. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I couldn't tell them that it wasn't going to work. I just had to do whatever I could, give them as many exercises to practice, to utilize in the relationship, to implement, to see if it could work. But I knew deep down in my heart that it probably wasn't going to work, right? And I'm only saying this because I know a lot of times women feel like they can do no wrong. And the crazy thing about it is the man is in an outstanding relationship now. And the woman, it's not. She's suffering. She's going through it. So she reached out to me, and this is a story I want to tell you guys. So she goes, Kitty, I did everything that you told me to do, blah, 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 blah. And mind you, I've talked to this man already. He's reached out to me. And everything that I taught them, everything I told them, utilize, implement, he's doing it now in the relationship that he is in. That was just the wrong woman. And I'm sorry, baby, if you see this video, I know I've already told you, you were just not the woman. So she asked me, Kitty, what did I do wrong? And I said, do you want me to be raw with you? And she said, yes. Okay. So I told her, okay, you had this princess syndrome where you felt like it always had to be me, 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 and everything that I said went. And that if I was not right, he was not going to be happy. You belittled him. You emasculated him. I said, you didn't watch your tone. You reacted before you responded. You didn't take time to comprehend what it was that he was saying. And he heard you nagging instead of actually listening. You waited to play that number plus one game. Okay, this is a number of things that you have done to me that he's telling you. And then you say, well, this is a number of things that you have done to me plus one. You had a warped mindset to where you believe that, hey, it's going good right now and I need a little bit of attention. So bad attention is better than no attention. Instead of understanding that now you are transitioning into a healthier space. So there's going to be peace. It is going to be serene, but you didn't know how to adapt to peace and serenity because of your chaos from your childhood and your past traumas. You brought those into this relationship and you blamed him for the mistakes of your partner. I asked her, do you want me to continue? Because the list can go on. And everything that I told you to do, as you're saying you did it, you did not. You went back to what it is that you knew. And she said, well, Kitty, can I get him back? You can't get him back. You lost him and you should not be worrying about getting a partner back until you fix yourself. And the only way to fix yourself, as I always say, ladies, is to be accountable for your shit. And I understand. It sucks when they move on. But I'm glad that he moved on because he was ready. It was the right time for him and you were the wrong person.
I do not want to say this. I don't. This is why other groups of women are seemingly more successful when it comes to relationships and marriages and anything of that sort than us. And that's because a lot of what we are taught as women, especially within the Black community, we're taught that womanhood is finesse culture, right? Within the Black community, we're taught a lot of the times that in order to be successful in a relationship, you have to have one up over your partner, over your husband, over your boyfriend, over your significant other, over your lover, over whatever. Like, you're supposed to be on the up. You're supposed to have the leverage. You're supposed to have the upper hand. We're taught that that is how you're supposed to conduct yourself within a relationship. Which is, again, what makes us not that ideal for a relationship by any group of men. Right? We really do get fucked up based upon how we're taught, what we're taught. Oh, make sure that, you get this out of him and make sure that he don't never get that out of you, and make sure that you got your own this. Like we're taught how to be snakes. That's womanhood within the Black community. May the best snake win. And what that does is it creates this environment to where nobody wants to marry us. Nobody wants to be in committed long-term relationships. The only thing that a lot of men really want to do with us is fuck. And the reason why that is because a part of that finesse, a big chunk, a major part of the whole finesse game that we're taught as Black women in order to be a woman, a big chunk of that finesse is sex. So I know how to do that very well, right? I'll use my body to finesse you.
Men have become bored with women. Women?
Young lady, do not try to speak for all men. There is no one truth, spoken by one person, that could apply to us all. We are all different. Even I, as a man, would never attempt to speak for all men. But I can speak for myself when I tell you I'm not bored of women. I am tired of pain. I am tired of being treated as though I am an impulsive child and must justify my every decision before ever carrying them out. I am tired of being treated like a liar and having to prove everything I say and do. And even after years of doing that, I have not gained any trust and have to continue to do so. I am tired of having love and affection held over my head like a weapon, and if I even so much as disagree with you, then I can't have any love or affection. I am tired of being treated as though if I do not change every single thing about myself to suit you, then by God, maybe we're just not meant to be. And if I dare ever ask you to change anything about yourself, even one thing, then by God, if you have to change, then maybe we aren't meant to be as well. I am tired of being treated as though my problems are my own to solve, but your problems must have every bit of my support that I can muster. I am not bored of women. I'm tired. That is why even now, if I were to meet Miss America, there would be a moment where I would pray to God that I could ever land something like that, and promise all the sacrifices I'd make just to have someone that beautiful. And then I'd remember, as the moment passes, that I have made those sacrifices, and my life didn't get any better, so I would not do that again. So while being lonely is its own evil, it is its own pain, I would choose that day after day than ever be treated as I was before.
If you raise your children, then you can spoil your grandchildren. But if you spoil your children, you're going to have to raise your grandchildren.
Men are dying, and they're dying from this condition. And the condition they're dying from is being hated, being discriminated against. In a sense, if you look at the figures of men who lose their homes, their families, their children, and most of them, 90% of those homeless men are there as a result of domestic violence. They've been kicked out, they've been lost. We look at that, I think it's a form of genocide. I really do. I can't see anywhere in history when women have turned on men like this. Men as who are the protectors, men who are out working. 75% of taxes are paid by men who are there, and they are working for their wives, their children, and their families. Any man who knows that there are accusations against him knows he will probably lose his job. If he has children, he has to move out of his house. This is only allegations, no evidence. Has to move out of his house, and it'll take over a year before there'll be any kind of a court case. The woman, and it's 99.9%, it's women who are making these allegations. These women get paid from the moment she makes the allegation with no evidence, can hand out up to $500,000.